churches he was preaching in the next few months. He's not going to be here. He isn't supposed to be here. He's been called to preach. And as God gives him opportunity, he's going to go and do it. And we're praying for him. But when he's here, he's up there, wherever we are, he's up here praying this morning. We're praying for this church because we care, but there's only a limit to what we can do. They prayed and they said, "Oh God, will you not spare your people? Do not give your heritage to reproach." See, I have a heritage and some of you don't, and I'm sorry that you don't, but I'm telling you, you can start building one. You can start a heritage today. Let me give you this. I'm going to paraphrase. I'm going to paraphrase the last part of verse 17. Why should we let it be said around here, where is the God that used to be so active at the Nazarene church? He sure isn't evident there anymore. I just paraphrased the last little bit right there. Why should we let it be said around here, where is the God that used to be so active in the Nazarene church? He sure isn't evident there anymore. Let me read it what it says right out of the book. Why should they say among the peoples, where is their God? I don't want that said here. I do not want that said here. I say, God help us. And then after the revival. Now, this is going to be in Sunday school next week. In part, this is end times prophecy in all reality. You understand what I'm saying? This is end times prophecy in all reality. Verse 28, and it shall come to pass afterward. Afterward what? After the revival. There will be a revival in the last days. There will be a tremendous revival in the last days. And friends, I know I'm coming from Sunday school and you weren't in there, but let me tell you, we are in the last days. We are for sure in the latter days. We are living in and will see the last days. And all that stuff that you think is so important that you don't need to come to revival for is going to get unimportant in a hurry. That's why I'm preaching this. That's why I'm trying to tell you, you need to get ready to meet God, because one day, in a moment, in the twinkling of an eye at the last trump, for the trump of God will sound, and the dead will be raised incorruptible. Then those of us who are alive and remain will be caught up. In a moment. You say, well, when I see Jesus coming, you won't have time to think about what's coming. You need to get on fire for God. And you need to get your family on fire for God. And if they're not on fire for God, you need to get them in church and on fire for God. And you need to be telling people that you care about, man, look at what's going on in this world. Something's going to happen. We know what it is. The world just thinks the economy's bad. It is. That don't mean much to the Christians because, wow, they think we have unrest. I shared this morning the true boundaries of Israel and the boundaries of Israel now and the West Bank and the Gaza Strip. They're steadily taking what is Israel's because God gave it to them. This world is going to take until they have all of Israel, and they never will, because God is sovereign God. He will draw a line in the sand one day, and it's not going to be a pretty thing. All right, I got to wrap this up. After the revival, verse 28, and it shall come to pass afterward that I will pour out my spirit on all flesh. The reason I wanted to bring the cup in was this verse right here. I will pour out my spirit on all flesh. Your sons and your daughters will prophesy. Your old men will dream dreams. Your young men will see visions. And also, on my men servants and on my maid servants, I will pour out my spirit in those days. That's the promise, that in the last days, there's going to be a powerful revival, and then the end of the world will come. What if it starts here next Sunday and you miss it? Can you fathom what that will mean to you spiritually for eternity, to blow God off. Say, I don't even know why they bring those special preachers in. We don't care about that. I go to church on Sunday. That's good enough. I don't go to Sunday school. I don't need that. I don't need to learn more about the Bible. I don't go on Sunday night. I don't need that. That's when I can't even name a TV show that comes on Sunday night. That's when that show comes on that I like to watch. So I don't go to church on Sunday night. I watch TV. Do you realize what you're radiating to God right there? What message you're sending God? You say, oh, no, I love Jesus. I love Jesus. Why don't you speak to your wife about 1 hour a week and try to convince her you love her? Ignore her the rest of the time. Don't do nothing good for your wife except 1 hour a week. And then at the end of the week, say, honey, now you know I love you, don't you? And she'll go, you mean that little tidbit back there? No, I don't know nothing. And you think God somehow differently? I love the Lord with all my heart, soul, mind, and strength, and my neighbor is myself. Well, I don't really like my neighbors. You don't really like God either. See, we got to give God what God says, not what the preacher says, not what anybody else says. You can't say, well, I think God understands. It's a tough day. No, God understood it was a tough day when they were chopping off the heads of Christians. I'm going to kill one more rabbit if I can find him. I'm going to chase him down.